match each expression to make pairs of equivalent expressions. So we're going to start with the first one, a squared b squared divided by a to the negative 3, b to the negative 1. I have it copied on my notebook paper already. And we look at this. Remember that when we divide, we're going to divide the a's, and then we're going to divide the b's. And when we divide, what happens is we subtract. And we're going to subtract 2 minus a negative 3. And if you don't know what that is, whoops, you've got to be able to see this. 2 minus a negative 3. If you don't know if you can't do that in your head, type it into Desmos. With the b's, it's going to be b to the 2 minus a negative 1. So when we finish this particular problem, what happens with the double negative, it becomes positive. So we get a to the 5th, and b double negative gives us a positive b cubed. So if we pull that back up, a to the 5th b cubed, 50-50, whether these things work on my iPad, but that eliminates one of the answers. And then we go to the next one. So let's copy the second problem down in our notebook paper. And when we go there, again, with the division, we're going to divide the a's. And by the way, since there's no exponent written on that a in the bottom, it's a to the 1st. And then we're going to divide the b's. And once again, I always do these problems the same way. So division means that we're going to subtract the bottom exponent from the top exponent. Minus a negative 4, top minus bottom exponent. So what we end up with here is we end up with a to the negative 6th. If you can't do 2 minus negative 4, type it into Desmos, but again, double negative gives us a positive. This gives us b to the 6th. So when we're looking at this particular problem, we need to deal with the fact that a has a negative exponent. You can think of this as a fraction. The b to the 6th isn't going to move because it has a positive exponent. But a to the negative 6th, we're going to flip and change the sign on the exponent. In other words, when we flip, we're moving it down to the denominator. So b to the 6th over a to the 6th is what I have. B to the 6th over a to the 6th. 5 problems in one on this particular problem. But once again, getting lots of good practice on dividing. Copy down that third one, and I'll flip over to my notebook paper. But you are probably getting the hang of things here. A cubed divided by a to the negative 3rd. And then it's b to the negative 4th divided by b squared. So when we divide, we subtract exponents, and it's the top minus the bottom. So a to the 3 minus a negative 3. And then it's b to the negative 4 minus 2. So when we simplify here, double negative gives us a positive. So this becomes a to the 6th. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. And very similar to the previous problem here, you can think of this as over 1. This time the a to the 6th isn't going to move. It's the value or the variable that has the negative exponent that we're going to flip and change the sign on the exponent. So this time it's a to the 6th over b to the 6th. We go back to Edmentum, a to the 6th over b to the 6th. I hope that I turned the video back on. I've been kind of pausing and copying down the problems as I've been going through, but I'm on the 4th one now. Copy that down. We're going to flip over to notebook paper, and we're going to work that problem out. You'll probably be able to see my work if I didn't turn the video back on for the 3rd value on here. But I'll flip back over. And once again, what we're doing is we're dividing. And we end up with a to the 4th divided by a squared, and b to the negative 2nd divided by b cubed. When we divide, we subtract. So this is going to be a to the 4 minus 2. It's going to be b to the negative 2 minus 3. Well, 4 minus 2 gives us 2, and negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. And once again, we can think of this as a fraction. The a squared is not going to move because it has a positive exponent, but b to the negative 5, we're going to flip and change the sign on the exponent. So it's a squared over b to the 5th. I wonder if I did that problem wrong. So if I go back here, it's a to the 4 minus a negative 2. So this should have really been a to the 4, minus a negative 2. So you can see it a little bit better, so you can correct it as well. Minus a negative. And that's the nice thing about multiple choice, is we can go back and find our answer. So this really gives us 6. And again, if you can't do this in your head, do that in decimals. 4 minus a negative 2. But once again, we're still not going to change anything with the a to the 6 now that we have it corrected. And then b to the negative 5, we're going to flip and change the sign on the exponent. And it wasn't multiple choice, but I looked back here as I was grabbing the iPad to put it back under the camera, and I saw that there was not an a squared. So a to the 6th divided by b to the 5th. And then one more problem to go here. So again, copy down this last one. We still have 4 choices left, so we don't know what the answer is going to be. And I will try to do this part of the problem correct this time, watching my signs. Because we're going to take a to the negative 4th divided by a squared, and b to the negative 2nd divided by b squared. And when we do that, it's going to be a to the negative 4 minus 2, top exponent minus bottom exponent, b to the negative 2 minus 2. Well, negative 4 minus 2 gives us negative 6. Negative 2 minus 2 gives us negative 4. And on this one, both of our exponents are negative, and we need to make them positive. So we're going to have to flip both of them. And when we flip, we're going to flip the entire fraction here. It's going to become 1 over a to the 6th, b to the 4th. Again, I'll keep my fingers crossed when they pull back admentum here. And 1 over a to the 6th, b to the 4th.